This might sound surprising, but making $100,000 a year with Shopify is honestly not complicated, it's simple. I'm not gonna stand here and say, oh yeah, it's super easy, it's like a walk in the park piece of cake. No, but it's certainly attainable. It's nothing that's like super crazy. It's definitely not as hard as going to college for 4 years and slaving away and just, paying off student debt for the rest of your life. Nowhere near. Like, you can actually change your life in a matter of months with Shopify. Also in e-commerce, $100,000 a year is considered a minimum standard. It's like the first milestone that you hit with any new successful e-commerce Shopify brand. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Dan Vass. I'm an entrepreneur and a self-proclaimed e-commerce mogul. See what I did there? But I actually am. I've been doing e-commerce and living and breathing it for several years, growing my own brands, investing in new ones every single day. And it's just literally what I've been doing for so long. I'll decide to make YouTube videos sharing what's working for me in e-commerce, and also because I know that I literally make the absolute best e-commerce videos out there. It might sound arrogant, but it's true. If you've watched any of my videos, you know how much better they are than the other ones out there. I always try to make them super incredibly helpful, and I know that they've just changed the lives of millions of people around the world. Millions of people around the world have been able to start successful businesses, have been able to completely change their life, just transform their life on a huge, huge scale. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to make $100K a year with Shopify. We're going to dissect it step by step. We're going to break it down, and I'm going to make this as easy as possible for you to understand, because like I said, $100,000 a year with e-commerce is really like the first milestone that you hit with any new brand. That turns out to roughly be about $8,600 per month, and that's about $100K a year in sales. Now, of course, sales is not the same thing as profit, so we're going to discuss the difference between the two, and also how to not only make $100K a year in sales, but also how to really grow that business and turn it into $100K a year in profit. Now, I want to start this video off with a disclaimer. Me telling you how to make $100K a year is obviously not a guarantee that you're going to make any money. I'm just giving you the logical step-by-step how to get there, breaking it down for you as easily as possible. Everyone's journey is different, and you might not make any money if you follow this whatsoever, or you might make a lot. It's completely up to you. And that's the beauty of entrepreneurship. The beauty of business is that we are in control of our own success. If your product isn't selling, there are actually things that you can do to get it to start selling. And if it's selling, that's fantastic. You can always do more to make it grow. Unlike Bitcoin and other things like stocks, I always talk about Bitcoin. A lot of people think I it and stuff, which I really don't. It's just that you have zero control if you're investing in things that you don't have control over, like Bitcoin or stocks or things like that, right? So that's my little disclaimer. Basically, this video, it's not a guarantee, but it's up to you entirely what you do with this information, and you can actually make a lot of money or you might not. So let's talk about 100K. 6 figures, that magical number that we're all taught by society. It's like upper class or upper middle class, where you're basically part of the 1%, which we all know it's a complete myth by now. My parents, along when I was growing up, especially my teenage years, my parents were making more than 6 figures in a combined household income, and we were very much middle class. We were definitely not rich. We were living in Toronto, the city I grew up in, and it's expensive to live there. If you live in any big city today, you'll notice that 100K is not what 100K was in the 90s and the 80s. From inflation, from obviously the costs of things going up over time, 100,000 will literally not even buy you like a house in Toronto or in any other major city in Canada at all. Like 100K a year income, you're going to be stuck in a perpetual mortgage that your grandkids are going to have to pay off, right? So that's the truth about 100K. So I really want to put into perspective that, first of all, it's a good thing that you're doing e-commerce, that you're starting your own business, and second of all, that because it's not a high number anymore, it's easy to reach. It's easy to reach with e-commerce, easy enough where it's like predictable, right? You'll basically be able to see in this video here, what I'm about to show you, that it just makes sense. So as I've said previously, you've got 2 100Ks with Shopify, so you can make 100K a year in sales, and so that means that at the typical e-commerce profit margin, that's between 30 and 50%, and so that leaves you about 40 to 50K in profit. So your margin depends on how much your product costs, it depends on how much you're selling it for, it depends on your Facebook ad costs, or whichever ads you're running to actually sell it, right? So typically, it's going to be on 100K of sales, you're going to pocket between 40 and 50K of profit, maybe 30K in your first year, maybe as low as 25. It all depends significantly on the things that I mentioned. With typical e-commerce profit margins, that's different. That translates into 200 and 275K per year in sales. So if your business is doing about $200 to $275,000 per year in sales, then that will make you about 100K in profit. And so there's the two different numbers. A lot of people, they don't talk about the difference between revenue and profit, how it's not the same. That's why I just want to give you that full transparency, both figures, and show you how to actually achieve both. So first of all, before we break down how to get to 100K a year with Shopify, let's go over the milestones with e-commerce. So with any new e-commerce business, you're going to have the following milestones in this logical step-by-step order. Your first milestone is going to be your first sale. So obviously that's huge. When I made my first sale on Amazon FBA, and for me, because I started Amazon FBA first, I'm not saying it's better than Shopify at all. If you've committed to Shopify, then do that. I have videos on both. You can check them out. But when I made my first sale of a physical product online, it was like the best feeling ever. And you'll see that it's the best feeling for you as well, because you're going to realize that what you thought was not possible before is now possible for you, that you can actually control your income and you can actually achieve your dream life and build this business that will fund it, that will support it, right? So your first sale is definitely your first milestone. It's huge. Then after that, you've got the next milestone, which is 10K a month, which already is over 100K a year. That's 120K a year in sales. And the reason why it goes from your first sale to 10K a month is because it doesn't take all that much to hit that. If you have a successful product, if you follow my videos, it's literally just going to happen. Like, obviously it might not be your first product, right? But eventually if you keep trying, then you will hit that, and you'll see that 10K a month is not like, it's not going to take some enormous amount of work or effort or something to hit it, right? So I actually hit 32K a month, relatively effortlessly. Of course, all that effort that I put up front to actually get the business going, that was a lot. But once the product was on Amazon, it's not like I had to keep working or something to keep it growing, right? At that point, the momentum really caught up, and that's what really helped build it. So after 10K a month, then the next milestone after that is 100K a month, which is already 1.2 million a year in sales. So once you've got an e-commerce business doing 100K a month, now you've got a 7-figure business. So these are the milestones. There's about just 3. And so you can see why 100K a year really is a minimum standard. Now at every point, so what you want to do, so let's say you hit your first sale and then you hit 10K a month. So you don't want to just keep growing and keep advertising and all that. You want to pause, optimize, and then grow, and then optimize, and then grow. So you're always shifting between kind of like aggressively scaling, and then you're just kind of optimizing things. You're lowering your costs, optimizing your ads, just squeezing out more profit at every single milestone before you hit the next one, right? And then obviously you got that stage where you scale. And so that's really how it works, just from like a bird's eye view, from a top level view. So the best way for me to show you how to actually hit 100K a year, both in sales and in profit with Shopify, is to break down the goal. Every single successful person and millionaire breaks down their goals, and I do that as well for myself. It's how I got to where I am today, and it's how I'm going to continue to keep growing and growing my success and my freedom. The good news with e-commerce is that there are many avenues to get to the same goal. So it's not like you have to sell one product at a certain price to hit 100K. You can sell 2 products with just like half the amount of units of each product. You can sell 3 products. You can build a product line. That's really the goal. So I'm going to show you all those different options. So let's break it down. $100,000 a year. If you're selling a $30 product, you're going to need to sell 9 to 10 units a day of that product to make 100K a year in sales. Now, to figure out how many units a day you have to sell to get 100K a year in profit with your business, because profit is the money you can take home, all you do is just multiply by 2.5. So we're going to take that amount of units, so 9 to 10, we're going to multiply by 2.5. That gives us about 25 units a day. So you need to sell 25 units a day of a $30 product to hit 100K a year in clean profit. That's not, something crazy. That's not something that only the 1% can do. It's not complicated. I think you've already seen, if you've watched a substantial amount of my videos, that it doesn't take all that much to hit 100K a year, both in sales and in profit. You just have to follow the steps. Now, to hit 100K a year, you can also sell a $50 product at only 5 to 6 units a day. That's 100K a year in sales. You have a 6-figure business at that point. And then to hit 100K a year in profit, you just multiply by 2.5 the number of units. So 5 to 6 times 2.5 is about 12 to 13. And then you can also sell a $100 product, and that's only going to require you to sell about 3 units a day. So that's 100K a year in sales with a $100 product, 3 units a day. You multiply that by 2.5, and that's 7 to 8 units a day. But you have to sell a $100 product to hit 100K a year in clean profit. At that point, your business is doing about 250K a year in revenue. So now that you can see the math, it's honestly simple. It's not that complicated at all. And breaking down the goal really makes it much more digestible, makes it much more tangible. You can really see, okay, so this is how many units I have to sell. and these are my options, right? And a lot of people have limiting beliefs when they're starting out. They think that, why should I succeed? Maybe I'm not going to succeed. Maybe my product's going to fail. 6 figures. I've never made 6 figures in my life. No one in my family's ever made 6 figures in my life. Maybe it's not going to happen for me. And so they believe these things, and then guess what? Your expectations become your reality. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So, you really want to make sure that the fears, you have to understand the fears you're having and these limiting beliefs that you're having, like, it's normal to have them. We're all human beings, right? We all have these things as part of our programming, but it's important to really get over these things. And all you have to do is just worry about putting one foot in front of the other and marching towards your goal. So if you set the goal of a 100K a year Shopify business, you don't worry about things that are not going to help you, right? So getting stuck in mental feedback loops, always thinking about, am I going to succeed, or is this too saturated, and all these things. Ask yourself, when you're stuck in that worrying feedback loop, just ask yourself, is thinking about this helping me in any way? And if it's not, stop thinking about it. Just change the topic, change the subject, right? Go look at something, go watch something, go somewhere, go on a walk. It's really important to control these things, because a lot of people, they put all this emotion in their business. They really become emotional, and they start to really worry and things. And I understand after a lifetime of working a 9-to-5 job and your entire life being told that if you want to succeed, you have to fight, and you have to, kind of follow society's script and do all these things that are not in your favor at all, following society's scam of a 9-to-5 job and all this crap. I understand why, you might be fearful. For me, I started when I was 21, so I still could, for me, I was at that prime age when I could really reprogram my beliefs. So if you're older, doesn't mean that you can't. It's just that obviously the older you are, it's just going to be a little bit more difficult to reprogram your beliefs. You're just going to have to try a little bit harder, right? So you have to really be vigilant about that. You have to really pay attention to that. Honestly, ask yourself, whenever you're doubting yourself, whenever you're wondering whether you're going to succeed, just ask yourself, what makes you different that you can't succeed and that someone else can, that I can't? What makes you different? Why are you different? There are so many people that have built successful Shopify businesses. You can go on my channel. There are tons and tons of examples of people that I've coached in Ecom Freedom in my programs, and they've succeeded, right? So just don't put emotion into it, and just understand these people are not special, and they just did things that you could also do to succeed. They took action. And any excuses that you have popping up, they're not true. 99% of the things that we worry about never happen. Business is not a matter of chance, as we've been told that 90% of businesses fail. Yes, it's true, but that's because most people are just super lazy, super undisciplined, super unfocused. If that's you, well, it's going to be difficult, right? So don't worry about that. You are taking a risk when you are starting an e-commerce business, but in life, you have to take risks. That's just how it works. If you want to get a reward, you have to take risks. No risk, no reward. We've all heard that saying. But the difference between this risk and the risk that you take when you go gambling in Vegas, like I did a few weeks ago, and literally put $5,000 on black that I could have lost in a split second, the difference is that with this business, you can actually see everything before you invest into it. You can see exactly how much you're going to potentially make. You can see exactly how much your product's going to cost. You can analyze, what the amount of money that you can make in your industry is and with your product. So, what I'm saying is that it's not gambling, and you're taking a calculated risk. Life's a risk anyway, and if you didn't take any risks in life, did you really even live? The truth about success is that success is a choice. And no matter what you were led to believe, no matter what society taught you, it just comes down to a choice. Will you choose success for yourself? I chose success for myself, and I became successful because I chose it. So are you choosing success for yourself? That's up to you. If you never quit, you'll never fail. So my biggest pieces of advice, super, super important for really making this work for you. Number 1, build a long-term brand. I've actually taught the brand method that I've used to grow all my e-commerce brands ever since the beginning of my YouTube channel, because I've always taught and always made videos on the things that are working for me, that are actually being put into practice every single day by myself. And it's really just the only way of really building a sustainable e-commerce business. The next piece of advice is high quality product. Focus on selling something high quality. Do not just create some crappy looking AliExpress type of store. It's not going to be good. You really want to make sure that you source a high quality product, you get samples, you honestly ask yourself, would I buy this? Do I actually like this, right? And if you do, well, then that's great. So high quality product is going to be the basis of your brand. When you're looking at your store, and this is really useful when you're building out your store and the design, be objective. You want to be objective. Don't be subjective. Just because it's your business, you might think it looks better than it does to other people. So ask your friends, specifically ask people that you know that are in the target market that you're selling your products in, to tell you what they think of your website, what they think of your Shopify store. And if they tell you, if they criticize certain parts of it, that's fine. Don't take it personally, just fix it. No big deal, right? Because that's going to move you closer to success. And when you've got your friends who are in that target market over at your place, or you've met up and they're looking at your website and they're giving you that constructive criticism, also ask them about the product and ask them just about their life, their pains, wants, and needs. Really, you want to build out what's called a customer avatar in your mind, and you really want to get to know your target market in and out. And finally, do not be reckless. Just because you're excited and you've got a product invoice in front of you and it's like $5K for your first inventory or $10K and you've got the money maybe. I sure didn't when I was starting out. I only had like a few thousand. Doesn't mean that you have to invest into it. Don't be reckless. This is not a casino. Be calculated in everything that you do. Make sure you're following the right steps. Watch my videos that I got on my channel. I've got the best e-commerce content out there. You can also watch my friend Josh's video down below. He's got his own YouTube channel as well. He's actually one of my good friends and a verified successful 7-figure seller who actually I mentored in the Shopify Freedom program as well, which you can also get access to down below. He's actually the head of Shopify at Ecom Freedom, and he's mentoring students every single day. In Shopify Freedom, you'll learn every single step that you need to build a successful 6-7-figure Shopify brand, something that will actually stand the test of time using the brand strategy, and you'll also get that lifetime access to the course and mentorship with myself, with Josh, and with our team of successful e-commerce brand owners. If you're serious about doing this, is a no-brainer. Having a course and mentorship is really, really, really key. And not only that, following through on it and taking action. And likely, if you've watched this far into this video, then you already know what your destiny is. You already know that you're not that person that's going to work a 9-to-5 job and you're going to stick to society script. You know that you will achieve freedom. You're going to build a successful business. You're going to make this work for yourself. And all you have left to do is just take action. Take action. Joining Shopify Freedom will be by far the best investment you'll make in your own success, in your life. Like, no doubt about it. For what you get, it's just a no-brainer. And there's also zero risk. If you don't like it, you can get your money back. So, there really is nothing to lose there. So that is how you make $100K a year with Shopify. It's not complicated. It's simple. All you have to do is take action, believe in yourself, follow the right steps, and never quit. I hope that you take all this advice and you heed it, you really follow it, get after the success that you deserve if you take action. Thank you so much. I also have the links down below to my podcast. You can check it out. I release a new podcast about 3 times a week. And also, if you want between 1 and 10K from us and you want to partner up with Ecom Freedom, with the best, with our team of verified 7-figure Shopify sellers and Amazon sellers, you can click on the link down below to make your application and potentially get that 1 to 10K in investment. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be great. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.